Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back for another weekly stream. Tonight we got something a little cool set up. I'm not knowledgeable on slashers, so I asked Ryan to give me 5 slashers, and he asked me to give him 5 spaghetti westerns. And I decided to pick stuff that's not. I mean, maybe a couple of these are popular, but I tried to pick not obvious choices. Not the Sartana release or Django or anything like that. But you want to talk about pickups before we get into what we've been watching?
Of course. Before we go into that, you want to answer this question for Maximus?
This is right. Yeah. Yes, Maximus. We've been doing this for a few months now. 3 months?
A few months. Yeah. But it's only been on Flip's channel, and now it's going to be on both of our channels for a while until we start our own channel for just this show.
Yes. Once we both have life stuff happening. So once that kind of calms down, we get acclimated, we're going to start our own channel.
And this is, we're calling it Discovering Cinema. We're going to be going over boutique label movies and talk about pickups, talk about what we watched that week, and then go into a topic every single show. What's going on, Dave? Good to see you.
I have private chat selected, so I was like, man, where's all these comments going on? What's going on, Dave? My first pickup, I got 2 things. From 88 Films. One of them is Riccio. Not going to show it off. It's
everybody's seen it. Yeah,
it's not my thing. But I got Riccio, and this is my thing. And I fucking love this movie. This is 5 stars for me. Like, this is the perfect exploitation film. What I find really funny about this movie, though, is this 10 p.m. It might be 10 p.m. on your time. It's 9 p.m. CST. What I find really funny about this movie is at the very beginning, it's like in the year 2001, prisons are for profit and it's a dystopian nightmare. And it's like, that's America. So, yeah, this is a really great release. It comes with a double-sided poster with the original Hong Kong release and Kung Fu Bob's artwork on the front. A really cool book called Caged Fury. And man, I forget, and it looks great. I don't know. I did do like a little bit of a side-by-side. It does look slightly better than the previous UK release that was out. I'm sure a lot of people have. It looks slightly better, but it's not like a noticeable new transfer. But it's got 4 commentaries. 4. I've listened to 2 of them. I don't think I can watch this movie for a 4th time, and a 5th time back to back. But I am going to do a review of this here soon because I read the book. I love the packaging. I just think this is great. I mean, this inspired Mortal Kombat. This was the inspiration for Liu Kang. This is just a great release. Extremely, extremely violent. To the point, I mean, nowadays it's not as shocking. Like, I could only imagine if something like The Night Comes for Us or The Raid 2 came out in, during this period.
Right.
It'd get like a category 6 rating for those. But but yeah, this is a ton of fun. This is a really good release. I forgot about the body transformation stuff in here. A lot of good practical effects. Just awesome. Highly recommend you guys pick this up. And they reprinted this. So if you missed out on this, they reprinted this. This is it was 2,000 copies, and now they're doing 2,000 more, which is insane to me.
Yeah, it sold out on pre-order.
Yeah, which is wild because that's a fucking like kind of a, I don't know how to. It's not like unknown, but not a lot of people talk about Riccio, but they're putting a lot of love into these Cat 3 releases.
To be fair, there's never been a great U.S. release of it, and that could be one reason why a lot of the places that we frequent don't talk about them that often.
That's true. And hey, it's 2021. If you're not region free, the fuck.
Agreed.
So, what's your first pickup of the week?
Since I'm going to be out of the state on Thursday for my show, so I figured I'd show off everything, which it makes it sound like there's going to be a ton, but there's not a whole lot. First, I finally got in a little late, but it is here. The new Elvira autobiography. Nice thick book. Gotta love Elvira.
Thick book.
I love the smile, but I don't know what that's about.
I just have a crush on Cassandra.
Well, who doesn't?
Dude. Even now.
Yeah, I saw her at Texas Frightmare in 2019, and she's incredible. Got the Scream Factory variant of Halloween Kills on vinyl.
Though the soundtrack's already out?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie comes out on Friday. It just released.
This Friday?
So this Friday.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this is going to be a big week. I'm saving the biggest one for last, so I'm going to go through a few more. I think you were talking about this one with me. I picked this one up because Aaron Pinn really highly recommended that. This is Nightmares. This is from Umbrella. This is an Ozploitation film that looks and sounds incredible. I'd show the back, but there's some blood-covered boobs, so we'll save that for later. You have probably not seen this one, but this is one that I loved. I'm a big fan of anthology movies. I love when they wrap around nice short stories, but ones that connect everything in really intricate and smart ways, like Trick or Treat. Yep, one of my favorites. But the one I got does not have a Blu-ray release in the States. Had to get this from the UK. That is Southbound. Southbound is so well done. All of the stories, they flow kind of seamlessly into each other, and they're done in very similar ways. And I believe the opening of this film was filmed right around where I grew up. So just cool connection there.
Let's go on ice and Dave.
Another foreign pickup from Imprint. I got Space 1999, the complete series. Their box sets are incredible.
I'm really tempted to get that Zangief set once it's in stock at Orbit. They're saying
mine's supposed to be here in the next couple of days.
Gosh, I want it so bad.
And then the final thing, I showed this off that this was going on sale on my channel, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get one, but I got in on a group buy. I got the one click for Grindhouse, for Death Proof and Planet Terror. This thing is ridiculous, and literally just picked it up this afternoon. That's why it's still sealed. This is heavy. This weighs like 2.5 or 3 pounds.
Damn,
this thing is amazing. So yeah, this is a new prized possession.
That's one of my favorite theater experiences ever.
Oh, I can imagine. I really wish I would have been able to go back then.
Midnight showing at the movie theater, packed house,
full fake theater commercials and everything.
I loved it, dude. The werewolf women of the SS, like that was so fucking Nicolas Cage's Fu Manchu.
Exactly.
I got a few more things. 2 weeks ago, we talked about Sonny Chiba, and Samurai Guy talked about Shogun's Shadow. He was like, Sonny Chiba plays a bad guy.
Yeah.
So I picked up the Shogun collection. This is a DVD box set. It's got Shogun Samurai, which I already had. Sword of Vengeance, The Fall of Akko Castle, Shogun's Ninja, and and Shogun's Shadow, which is the film that he recommended. I've watched Shogun's Shadow. Fucking awesome. It is really good. Great in sword fight. This is a nice box set. It was really cheap because it's got a little bit of a tear at the bottom, like the cover's coming off. But I mean, for a 4-movie pack, I couldn't beat it. Picked up for a few previews more, Wildy's trailer compilation of spaghetti westerns. The first one, which was their first release ever, is like $1,000 if you can find it. It's stupidly out of print and expensive. But what I really like about this release is that they have every movie that has a trailer on the inside in a book. It's got the poster, the director, the year, the country. So it'll say like if it was Italy or Spain. Nice. Really cool release. I mean, there's a couple of known ones in here, like Navajo Joe, The Hills Run Red, which we'll talk about, the Hellbenders. A couple of known spaghetti westerns, but happy to get this. And I got it sealed too, which was nice because I think this is Wild East 006. So it was their 6th release.
Interesting.
Picked up Headshot. I rewatched it, which I'll talk about in a second. This is an Arrow release.
Oh, is that one of the Arrow films? Yeah.
What is that? What?
That is, they put out like very basic releases under that. The one that everybody was talking about was Shane, what's his name? Shane Carruth, I think is his name, that did Primer. Okay. They put out a double pack of him with Primer and something else in the UK. But because Shane Carruth has again, if it's not him, please fix that. But he had some sort of Me Too moment, and so they didn't put this big extravagant box set or something together for him. So he got a 2-pack just under Arrow Films.
So I got this, and I think I have Gomorrah was the TV show that they put out under that label. But it's weird on on Amazon, because this was on Amazon Prime in the US, even though it's a UK release, it was labeled as a Eureka release. And I think there is a Eureka release. Like the cover art has a Eureka logo.
Weird.
So, yeah, very weird. But hey, I got Headshot Physical Media. Finally picked up Unforgiven in 4K.
Nice.
My favorite right-winged philosopher. I texted Ryan. I said Clint Eastwood should do a George Zimmerman biopic and star as George Zimmerman. I think that would be fucking awesome. Oscar bait. Yes, there is always the need for more movies. And the need. So here's what I'm doing. Shaw Brothers has over 1,000 movies in their catalog.
Jesus God.
1,000. Celestial Pictures, I believe, put out like a good chunk of them on DVD in Hong Kong, which all of them have English subtitles. The ones I'm going to show off now are not from Celestial Pictures. These are from Funimation, who's mostly known for anime.
Right.
I have a couple other their stuff, but like the next 2 weeks, I'm having close to probably 100 Shaw Brothers films show up. I am trying to get all the ones that I don't think will ever get a release here, and I think it's a safe bet to go with their wuxia.
That's
stuff.
like 940 of them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I was like going through, I was going through their catalog, and I was like, man, I really want to see this, really want to see that. A lot of trilogies, like a lot of like high budget trilogies that you would never have heard of, like the Sentimental Swordsman. Yeah, there's a
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and I have it coming, but just a lot of really good stuff. A lot, especially like I said, they're wuxia titles, heavy on the melodrama. The special effects were not good back in the early 60s. A lot of I would say stiff fight choreography, but there's a charm to them if you like it. But I picked up The Bastard Swordsman and Return of the Bastard Swordsman. These are both brand new sealed. These are really solid, fun wuxia films. And for those of you who don't know, wuxia films are a little different from, I would say, kung fu movies or swordplay movies in general, because it literally means like martial heroes. It's like China's superheroes. Like imagine the Avengers in ancient China. Like Dynasty Warriors would technically be like a wuxia thing. You got these larger than life characters, crazy personalities, and they do special effects. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is probably the biggest movie that's broken out of that. Hero with Jet Li as well. Oily Maniac is fantastic. But yeah, I am a big fan of this studio. And like I said, I have probably close to 100 movies coming.
Jesus.
I'm so excited to just do a binge.
Did you get them somewhere domestically, or are they all coming from Asia?
There's a guy on eBay. There's two guys on eBay. I thought they were the same guy. Same background, very similar titles, very similarly priced. I just gave them, I was like, hey, because a lot of them are like priced at like $300, but really they're not worth $300. But like one guy would not budge, and I was basically just like I think he wanted $350 for Men from the Gutter, who was directed by the same guy who did this movie. Really cool, like cop action movie. I really want it, but the only one on eBay is $350 fucking dollars. And I said, hey, will you do 80? I think that's more than reasonable for a fucking DVD. And he was like, I'll do 275. And he messages me every day for the last week asking me when I'm gonna submit my offer for 275. I'm like, I'm not. But I just messaged both these guys, was like, hey, here's my budget, here's what I want. And I gave them a list, and both of them worked with me and got the stuff for a good, decent price. I also, not movie related, kind of movie related, but I've been reading S. Craig Zoller, Mean Business on North Ganson Street. This apparently got auctioned. They're trying to make a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jamie Foxx as the cops. So
I can't imagine Leo in a S. Craig Zoller film at the moment.
Hey,
I would love to see it.
What's the most that you've spent on a single movie? Like not even like box sets aside. Like I wouldn't count Django or anything like that. Like
now, does that mean like premium releases, like something like this?
No, just like an out of print DVD.
Probably like Right around 100, probably.
Yeah, that's about how I am. Like 100.
But then there's like this Shaun of the Dead, Everything Blue set. These regularly go for $600. And I didn't even pay half that. I paid less than half that, but I paid over 200 for it.
I don't like Shaun of the Dead that much.
But I mean, when you have, unfortunately, when you have the other two to get the trilogy, it's the only thing nagging in your collection. So I had to.
Controversial take. Edgar Wright. The only movie I truly love from him was Baby Driver.
That is very much a controversial take. If you have not seen them in years, I will say, in my opinion, now, I think this is maybe the weakest of the trilogy. I love Shaun of the Dead, but yes, I do think it is the weakest of the trilogy. My favorite
when I watched them was Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz is incredible. I think the best movie, though, is The World's End.
Really? I haven't seen that one in forever.
Yeah.
$600. Wow, that's nuts, says Maximus.
Yeah.
You want to talk about what we've been actually watching, though?
Yes. I did want to answer one question before I let it go by, though. Where did it go? So I can highlight it. It was from Dave, I think. He was asking, I don't see it now, but he was asking what are in these big sets. And in these big sets, this is going to sound ridiculously redundant if you are not a collector or want these super premium sets. This has 3 different steelbooks for the Grindhouse release, and it has 3 different copies of each film in each of those. One steelbook has 1 copy of each film, so it's got 3 of different versions of that same set. There's lots of different reasons. I do have a video on premiums on my channel if you want to give it a watch.
Which is insane that there's like 5 copies of them.
Yep.
So what I've been watching is the first time we watched, I think after the stream last week, was The Guilty, the new Netflix movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Nice.
I gave it 2 stars. It's fine. Jake carries it. It's literally in one room. It's like one of those movies. It's like you never see the action. It's all him on the phone. He does a good job. Surprise of the week, though. Have you heard of Small Town Crime?
Other than the actual event? No.
It's got John Hawkes in it, Octavia Spencer's in it, Anthony Anderson, Robert Forster. It's a crime movie. It's about a girl whose body is found by a cop who did something in the past that they don't really know. Like they tell you what it is at the end, but he is off the force. He's an alcoholic. He finds a body and he dedicates himself to finding out who killed this girl. And it's John Hawkes. I know him from being a face in some movies. He's not like an actor I really like. He killed it in this movie, and it's got a really tense shootout at the end. It's really bloody. And then I unfortunately watched 2 Jason Statham movies. Watched Parker and Homefront, both from 2013. Both gave them 1 star.
Checks out.
Here are my reviews for Parker. I wrote, I unfortunately watched this. And then I gave Homefront a 1 star. I just wrote bad. Those are my very highbrow in-depth. Then I watched Headshot. And I really want to talk about Headshot because it's from the same director as Night Comes For Us, which you haven't seen. But it is a fucking horror movie. It's an action movie directed by a horror director.
Nice.
And this is like a proto that. It's ultra violent. Story's a little messy, but the violence is amazing. And I would say the best thing I've watched and the worst thing I watched. So the worst I watched was Polar. I watched it last night. Have you seen Polar with Mads Mikkelsen? It's based on a comic book, which the comic book does not feel like this at all. It is like a dog shit John Wick ripoff that's trashy and sleazy. Ice says he liked it, and I'm really surprised because Ice usually has like really good takes on everything, but that's the one time I've been like, yo, what? I gave it a half a star. And I wrote,
Jeez.
Yeah, I hated it. I was like, what the fuck? I just wrote absolute dog shit. So that's my but the best thing I watched this week, Beach of the War Gods. another Jimmy Wang Yu. I couldn't find out what studio produced it. Not Shaw Brothers, not Golden Harvest. So it's somewhere in between him making these it's because it's a high budget movie. There's like a lot of extras, and then again, Asia probably didn't pay their extras anything back then. A lot of extras. The fight scenes are incredible, directed by Jimmy Wang Yu. It's a Seven Samurai ripoff. It's literally about, but it's anti-Japanese. So it's about the Japanese invading China, and Jimmy Wang Yu. You like it better than no, dude. Gunpowder Milkshake. Both those movies are Netflix can go fuck itself when it comes to action movies, dude. Damn, Ebert had nothing on your review. Ebert can go fuck himself, which he can't because he's dead. Justy's Cave, what's going on, buddy? No, for real though, Ebert, I lost all respect when he gave The Raid 2 stars. Absolutely the worst take in the history of cinema. But I'm not gonna hit him too hard in the chin, because he doesn't have one. So Beach of the War Gods, great movie. It's a Seven Samurai ripoff, like I said. Anti-Japanese though. Japanese are invading China. Jimmy Wang Yu rallies all the fishermen, the farmers, just like Seven Samurai, to fight against them. But the fight choreography and sequences are some of the best I've ever seen in my life. That needs to get a release. It's incredible. But yeah, that's all I watched. Oh, Suspiria, the remake.
Remake, yeah.
Dude. Oh, man. What the fuck? That movie, dude. Woo! Okay, so it's a very sexual movie, but it never made me aroused. It made me very uncomfortable the entire time I was watching it. Just super uncomfortable. Hot take. I think it's better than the original. This one,
a lot of people have said that.
The original is a classic. It's amazing, but the new one does something that I did not see coming, and I don't think anyone saw coming. I could not imagine seeing that in theaters and just being like, holy fuck, because it is insane what happens. If I was a billionaire, I would fund that director. Same director who did Call Me by Your Name.
Yep.
Wow.
And he is, if I remember right, I believe he is old too. He is very old.
He fucking, dude, it's cheesy to say every frame of painting. John says, and a lot of people are wrong. John. Hey, the original is a classic. I mean, this is one of the rare times where I do think both of them are equally great. And that's a rare thing, especially.
Well, they're very different movies.
Very different. I think the only thing that they have in common is the dance trope thing.
And I do plan on talking about remakes a little bit when we start talking about slashers. So maybe we hold that for a few.
But it's so good. And I can't think of another, for me personally, I can't think of another movie that is a remake that made me go, okay, that was justified. That's better or equally as good as the original. So
I can't agree with that. I think there are a handful of remakes that are superior to the original.
Hit me with one.
The Hills Have Eyes.
I haven't seen the remake in forever.
It is a much better film.
The Crazies?
The Crazies is much better than the original.
I would, this is really hot take. Dawn of the Dead?
It depends on what you're into. If you don't like 70s low budget horror, you're certainly going to think that that's the case. And remember, I see you making that face when they're saying The Thing. They're talking about 1982 as the remake because The Thing from Another World is the original. The Thing 2011 that you're thinking about, it's not a remake, it's a prequel.
Evil Dead.
I am growing to that. I find myself
love the remake.
I find myself wanting to watch the remake more.
The remake one, because I am a big fan. I mean, not a lot of people know this, but I'm a big fan of Evil Dead, and I think the original is fucking great. I had the Necromonicon. I can't even fucking talk. I had the fake book. There was a book edition at Sam's Club.
Yep.
Shout out to all my Midwest homies, Sam's Club. And my parents bought it for me for Christmas when I was young. I loved it, cherished that thing. And then when the remake came out, I didn't want to watch trailers. Very rarely don't want spoilers for that movie. So I went in blind, and I was expecting campy fun, and what I got was one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen.
Love that movie.
Loved it. Martyrs, that's another good example of but yeah, Suspiria is great. Do you want to talk about our picks?
First, I'd like to talk about what I watched.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry. You've watched a lot. I've been going through your letterbox and just being like, hot damn.
Yeah, I've been trying to stay up on my watch list for the month, and some of these, there's a couple that I'm going to highlight at the end. And I'm not going to have a ton of time for my show on Thursday, so I'm going to run through a lot of them now. But before I do, I wanted to highlight. Did you see John's lineup for this weekend? This sounds incredible. Venom 2, Angel from '83, Terror Train, the new Bond, No Time to Die, Addams Family 2, Human Animals, and It's Nothing Mama, Just a Game. Those last two are from Mondo Macabro, just released. He just got those before the weekend, so I'm glad he was able to watch those.
Now, you're only doing horror movies this month, right?
Yes, it's meant to be a horror watch-along, yeah.
It's insane, dude. I'm like looking at your list right now. It's just, since we last streamed.
Just since last Tuesday, I watched The Man Who Laughs, which I gave 4 stars. Really good for a silent film. I usually don't love silent films, but I think it was really well done. The acting is incredible. I watched The Witches again. Love that movie. That was the first time my wife had ever seen it. Hilarious in certain points, and some genuine good, I would say, kid horror. But also, I love Henson, so anything that Jim Henson touched, I'm a big fan of. So love that. I'm going to come back to The Wailing. The next is The Deeper You Dig.
Yeah.
That is an Arrow release. It is about a guy that is driving along on a dark night, and I won't say driving drunk necessarily, but he had a couple, and he was definitely inebriated and should not have been driving. But he happened to hit a girl that was sledding way too late at night and killed her immediately. So he thought. He took her home, and she came to. And because he was scared and inebriated, he ends up killing her in his house. And the ghost of his decision there comes back to haunt him throughout the movie. And that's not really spoilers. All that happens in the first 7 minutes. So the whole point of the movie is the way that the grief affects her after she dies, and him after killing her. It's a great
movie. I like it a lot more.
Yeah, it's decent.
It's a family movie. It's a father.
It's
a father, daughter, and wife, right?
Yep.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and it was pretty much a all one location film. They did film in a couple other spots, but it was 90% in this one little house that was being worked on.
A little spooky at times. What's the word I'm looking for? Little ethereal is the word I'm looking for. I really liked it, and that's what I like about Arrow. They put out these low budget movies that are of really high quality. I think for a movie that, like you said, mostly one location, made by mostly just 3 people, it's a great movie.
Next day, I watched Eli Roth's Cabin Fever. This is one that a lot of people shit on nowadays, but I honestly think it's freaking great.
Got Sean from Boy Meets World in it.
This is one, like we talked about last week. Some movies just have 2 different movies in a movie. This is one where the first half can be very silly, can be very what are we doing here? And then in the second half, there's only one silly scene, but the rest of it is truly terrifying. I mean, there's some really good gore. There's some really nice tension, really well made. Eli Roth really came onto the scene strong with that film. The next one I'm going to come back to in just a second as well. Watch Paranorman with the family. My kids loved that movie. I loved it. Again, such a great kids film. What's going on, Flex? Good to see you.
What's up, Flex?
Then I watched The Blood on Satan's Claw from Severin.
You gave this a lower score than I was anticipating.
This is one, it just didn't hit me. I don't know why. It was I can see the relevance of when it was made, but it just didn't connect with me for some reason. Then that night, I watched Don't Look Now. First off, watched the Studio Canal 4K release of this, not the Criterion, and my God, that movie looks incredible in 4K. Really great movie. Love that film. Love the way that they put the actors in these different scenes. And then the thing I wanted to point out about this movie is Venice has never looked better. Don't Look Now looks so great. the entire thing's basically in Italy. Looks amazing.
Italy's amazing.
So I've heard. Yesterday, watched The Cannibal Man from Severin. Odd release. It was a video nasty, and it was such an odd, tame film to be given a video nasty title.
Really?
Like there was a handful of slasher type kills in this guy's house, but it hardly showed anything, and it was a really just this kind of happened type of movie. It was interesting, and because it was done in Spain, a lot of people don't know this. Like in the 70s and 80s, if you were going to have anything like this, where there was some like killing or anything like that, the police had to get involved, and the bad guy had to lose no matter what. So at the end of the movie, the guy just calls and turns himself in.
That's lame.
Yeah. Then last night, I finally watched for the first time in my life Lake Mungo. Everybody either loves that movie or hates that movie.
No.
And basically, it turns out, what's that?
I've never seen it.
If you love true crime, you're probably really going to like it. It is done in a very true crime documentary style, and it's really well made. It's a surprisingly decent movie. I waited a long time because the old DVD sucked, and so I was waiting for a good release for it. Got the second sight, looks fantastic. And then the two I was going to come back to, The Wailing. Talked about that on my show we talked about it with Eric a little bit last show. I finally saw it after our stream. Absolutely loved it. The movie was incredible. I wanted to immediately watch it again, and I'm probably going to watch it again in November. It was that good. But the other one that nobody talks about, which is from 2011, that blew me away this week, that I want to spend a little time on, that I hope you've seen this. And I know that you're looking at my list, so you can see what I skipped, but The Skin I Live In from 2011 by Pedro Almodovar. What a mindfuck of a movie. This movie is it's kind of hard to explain because the timelines jump around slightly, but in the end, it all makes sense. And it is, I originally put this on this list because about a month ago, I had it recommended as a body horror movie. And I love body horror, things like The Fly, where you see him, ripping off fingernails and changing and all that. It's not like that at all. It's a body horror movie in the fact that things are happening to somebody's body that they can't control. So it is a mindfuck body horror movie. And it's a movie that you can't really say much about without spoiling anything, because there are things that happen in this film that you're just not ready for. And things that are connected from the very beginning to the very end that you don't think are connected, that they reveal at the end. And it's really well done. I will say it might be the best performance by Antonio Banderas I've ever seen.
What?
Maybe.
Even better than Desperado?
By a few notches.
I'm going to add it to my list. I love Antonio Banderas.
Just to give the synopsis that's on Letterboxd, it says, a brilliant plastic surgeon creates a synthetic skin that withstands any kind of damage. His guinea pig, a mysterious and volatile woman who holds the key to his obsession. And can't say any much more about it because a lot of things about that are not quite what they seem, and that's because he has to hide a lot of it. He is doing it out of desperation and hiding it from like the ethics people surrounding the hospital that he's doing research for. So it's incredible, and you particularly, I know you would love it. Flex, we were talking about The Skin I Live In at the moment. John says Cannibal Man got the video nasty label due to the VHS box cover, which is crazy that's how they were doing things, but I completely see that. The cover's good. It's an interesting cover. I agree with this too. Maximus says seeing Banderas' Spanish work shows what a great actor he is. He never got good enough material in the U.S.
I feel like that happens with anyone of any different culture who comes here. Like, look at John Woo. Look at Jet Li. The One. Romeo Must Die. Expendables. Like, just a waste of talent. And then Iko Uwais. Star Wars. He's in it for 2 fucking seconds.
Yep.
Mile 22. They let him choreograph the fight scenes, and then they have an editor who was on coke just edit the shit out of him. And it sucks because a lot of these guys are fucking insanely talented. And I would even go as far as to say Jackie Chan even.
You don't think Rush Hour 3 is a masterpiece?
Hearing Jackie Chan say the N-word, though, is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever witnessed in my life. It's for real. It is one of the funniest shits I've ever seen in my life. Do you want to talk about what our picks are?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead with spaghetti westerns first?
So we're doing 5 picks each of a genre that we want more recommendations from. He's doing slashers. I'm doing WAP westerns. The first one I want to talk about is a movie whose director went under a false name. The real director's name is Enzo Barboni, but he went under E.B. Clutcher, and he's mostly known for the Trinity movie. They Call Me Trinity, which was a pretty solid hit, pretty big hit. This is a movie from 1970, a few years before Trinity. It's called The Unholy Four. And it's about this town simple Western story. The town is in the middle of a battle between 2 cattle ranchers. Lots of violence, a little bit over the top violence. This release right here, specifically by Kino, looks incredible. There is no special features at all on this disc. No, not even a commentary by Alex Cox, which they usually do.
When did that come out from Kino?
I want to say this says copyright 2017 on the back. So
yep, that sounds right. So that's when Kino was barely doing any features back then, even commentaries on most of their stuff.
They do have a reversible cover though, so there's an alternative cover. I picked this movie because I think this director, and I noticed this a lot with spaghetti westerns, the guy who did Banditos, they were firstly cinematographers before they became directors. So their first movies, I do think Trinity is a better film, but when I chose these, I wanted to highlight some lesser known ones. You can tell, even though it's not his best movie, for a first time director, the cinematography is great. The music's great. It's one of my favorite non Ennio Morricone soundtracks, and it's just a solid movie. This is cheap. It's still in print. I think I got my copy for like $5.
Makes sense.
Pick it up. It's good. What's your first pick?
First, I'm going to go into. Man, I had these in an order, and now I kind of want to change it. So I'm definitely going to. I'm going to go with one that is a classic that gets a lot of love, but still, in my opinion, not enough love. And this is one that gets highly talked about primarily because of remakes nowadays. But I've never heard you talk about it. That's why I had to bring it up. But if you haven't seen it, Black Christmas, I think, is the first really great slasher that is more in line with current slasher tropes. And that's, you could say Peeping Tom is one of the first slashers. You could say some of Giallo is a really great slasher. You can say Psycho, whatever. Most of those don't transfer well to the current. Black Christmas has a lot of kills, a lot of creative kills. The big thing is that slashers generally are telling some sort of bigger, either socio-political story or it's meaning something, which just a little sidebar here. One of the funniest things going on right now is every time that there's a new horror movie released, people are whining because it's woke. And get that shit out of here. Like, horror movies have been woke and progressive forever. The horror community has always been one of the most accepting communities in any sort of film. Even, look at Night of the Living Dead. It is one of the first most progressive horror movies ever made.
Yeah, and there's some social commentary, especially with that ending. If you haven't seen a movie from 50 years ago, 60 years ago, there's some commentary on there. Social commentary. And
this movie has a really good abortion storyline, which for its time, that's a hot thing to do. 74, something like that. But yeah, one big thing, I know he's just highlighting a joke here, but the fact that we have a movie like this and Margot Kidder is in this, it's incredible.
There's Margot Kidder.
Margot Kidder is Lois from the original Superman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she certainly was. She's passed recently, but.
Well, she wasn't Superwoman.
She's probably cold to the touch now.
Oh, perfect. Necrophilia.
um,
When one has the uncontrollable urge to crack open a cold one.
really great film. It is one of those that you, just like John said here, he watches it every Christmas Eve. It is literally on my every Christmas watch. It is only one of a handful of films that I put on every single December, and it deserves it. It's really well made. It really feels like Christmas. That's the big thing. And another thing is it's Canadian, and it is probably one of the best Canadian films of all time still.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my next pick is another Kino release. I think this came out this year or last year, 2021. So yeah, this came out this year. This does have a commentary by filmmaker Alex Cox, and that is The Hills Run Red. And I want to highlight this movie specifically because one, it's got Henry Silva in it, and he's great. But this is like not one of the first spaghetti westerns, but this is where like a lot of tropes are introduced. So like, revenge, damsel in distress, a lot of the signature like gunfights, that started with this movie. I think this should have been a more important release than just Kino releasing it, in my opinion. I really like this movie. But don't go in expecting anything of high caliber like the last three. I saved the best for last, especially the final one. You guys are going to love it. But this movie, I think, is very important in the history of just westerns in general. As much as the early spaghetti westerns get shit on, Django changed everything.
Yeah.
And then another Sergio Leone, changed westerns forever with his Dollars trilogy, which was influenced by samurai movies, Yojimbo, to tie it back into my other love interest. But this is a really cool piece of history. I really like it. It doesn't feel like a full-on spaghetti western because it is from 1966. So it's, Django was 1969. So Django, which became like the big spaghetti western, was much later. And that is Hills Run Red with Henry Silva.
Interesting. So my next one is a much newer one, and the reason I wanted to show this one second is because this takes. I love Hatchet.
I mean,
I really do.
I love
do. Hatchet.
Is that Kane Hodder?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I know a little bit about horror movies.
I'm shocked. So this is one I don't think you have seen. This is Behind the Mask.
I love that movie. Leslie Vernon.
Really?
Yeah, I love that movie, dude.
Great. I'm glad you watched it.
I used to watch it all the time. It's so funny.
So for anybody that hasn't seen this takes the point of view of the slasher, and he's literally teaching a crew how to be a good slasher, basically. This is such a fun movie. Robert Englund plays a part in it, which you got to watch it just for that. This is his little head here on the bottom. This is one that I think it came out at the perfect time to ride off the coattails of the next thing I wanted to talk about for just a second. This one. Scream came out and changed the game of slashers. And if if somebody has not seen Scream or all of the sequels, you absolutely should. They are all great in their own ways. Even Scream 3 has a lot of redeeming qualities. That's why I wanted to bring up the fact that the trailer for Scream 5 dropped today, and you were going to hear a lot of people shitting all over it. But why? Because it looks like the old ones, which doesn't make any sense to me. It looks great. It looks like something that is going to be incredible. And yes, Scream comes out in 4K next week. Can't wait to receive my copy. The big thing that I wanted to point out here too is somebody posted, Justy said, never watch the remakes about Christmas, Black Christmas. I disagree. And just like Scream 5 is about to do, it brings attention to the old films. So when Black Christmas 2007 came out, I think that was the year it came out, more people watched this film because there was a remake and people started talking about it. In 2019, there's this new woke all-girls Black Christmas, and everybody is hyped up and saying never watch it because it's terrible. But more people got eyes on this film, and this film never goes away. They can remake this every year for the next 40 years, and this is still here in quality. It doesn't matter.
Was that so? I want to talk about Behind the Mask. I had the DVD. I think Dimensions Extreme was that Dimensions Extreme release?
Probably.
Who put that out? Is that Scream Factory?
This is Scream Factory, yeah.
I kind of want to get that. I really like that movie.
It's a really good release too. It's got a new HD master, new interviews with the cast and the writer, audio commentary with the actors, audio commentary with the co-writer and director. And that one's moderated by Adam Green and Joe Lynch, and it's got a full making of on here. It's got the casting.
Anchor Bay. John saying.
Oh, it was Anchor Bay. Okay.
I knew it was one of those two. Those were the shit. Those were like the two DVD labels that when I was really into horror movies, if I saw that logo on it, I bought it. I think inside was Dimensions Extreme.
And here's the original art that a lot of people remember.
I love the design of his masks too.
Yeah, it's really well done.
It's a great movie.
And it is funny in points, but it does take the tropes of all slasher films and turns it over its head.
My next pick is a movie I talked about, I think a week or two ago. Directed by Enzo Castellari, who did Kioma with Franco Nero, which was an unofficial Django movie. Like everything with Nero was an unofficial Django movie. But while Kioma was more, I would say, stripped back in its action style, even though there is some action in Kioma, it's very well done. This movie is just balls to the wall action, and it's Kill Them All and Come Back Alone with Chuck Connors. This is from 1968, so it was the year before Django, I think, or the same year. Fucking amazing movie. Kioma got the Arrow treatment. I wish this would have gotten like a double pack with them because I would have loved to see some special features besides just a commentary by Alex Cox and the 99-minute English version or the 100-minute Italian cut. So 60 seconds really fucking...
It's probably not even a full 60 seconds. It's probably like 24 seconds of somebody breathing. It's
not, but this is a great movie. Kind of like take the Magnificent Seven or what's the other like Western group movie? The big
Lonesome
one.
Dove.
No, not Lonesome Dove, but like it's a group of people. Take that like stereotype, and then just add a lot of violence, and it's amazing. It's great. I highly recommend it. One of my favorite Kino releases. Literally nothing. Look at that.
That's Kino, and that's probably 2017 or 2018 as well.
This is a 20. Doesn't say on the back. It just says copyright 1968. No copyright for the time. Oh, 2019.
What's the title on that one again?
Kill Them All and Come Back Alone.
Interesting.
Really, really. That's actually a good title. That's a good spaghetti western title.
So the next one, I'm not sure if you've seen this one because I've not heard you talk about it. But as we're talking about remakes, I changed up my order again. This is a really gory cover, and I love it. This is a really nice 6-disc media book that's padded for one of the best remakes in the horror genre, and that is Maniac. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Elijah Wood starring in Maniac. Really well made. Elijah Wood. Look at him.
That's great. I love him.
Really great actor in this. Does a really good job.
He's also a really good DJ.
He really is. Yeah. He played here in Kansas City.
I saw him play with vinyl. He's just playing Afro beats and shit. I was like, what? All right. This is rad.
Maniac is not very much like the original. There are a few things that are the same. If you've seen the original, you still deserve to see this. And they're both great. I'm not going to say one's really better than the other. Maniac, the original, set the tone for a lot of things and gave us a beautiful Joe Spinell performance and a really gruesome shotgun kill. And that's all people seem to remember from the original. But the remake is really... It's really unique and done with the same sort of first-person perspective that you want it to be. Really well made, and it's also pretty sadistic.
Justice said, "Is that Daniel Radcliffe?"
I love that meme. So freaking funny.
My next pick is from a lesser-known Sergio. Because I think there's 3 big Sergios who directed some fantastic spaghetti westerns. This one is probably my least favorite of the bunch. But Sergio Solima, best known for The Big Gun Down. Amazing movie. But this is Face to Face with Thomas Milian. This movie came out in 1967. This is a really important movie because this whole movie is a critique on fascism, and it's them speaking out against it. And a lot of people don't know this, but Italy was on the side of Hitler during World War II, but it wasn't because the people were very much against it. Italy got liberated, and it was just as much as an importance to America liberating Germany and all that stuff. And a lot of Italian filmmakers really took against the ideas of fascism. And if you just watch this for a dumb, fun spaghetti western movie, you'll get what a lot of those are. Like what they give, because it doesn't do anything spectacular like The Big Gun Down. I think The Big Gun Down has better cinematography. It's better directed. Plus, it's got. I mean, I like Thomas Milian, but if he's in a movie just by himself as like the main star, and I don't know anyone else, he's not like a showstopper for me. But when you actually look into this and the commentary, wait, I listened to a commentary. There's no commentary on this release. But yeah, fucking Kino. What is this? When did this come out? 2000. It doesn't say. But yes, I highly recommend that. There is 2 versions. The Italian version is actually like 20 minutes longer on this, and it's actually better. There's more stuff in there. The other actor, Gian Maria Volante, I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else. But this is a really good movie, and I think this is actually out of print now. I think this is actually severely out of print. And I wanted to highlight something that actually has a critique on something a little bit, political. Because a lot of the stuff I watch doesn't have anything to say. Which is fine. I mean, it's a lot of samurai movies have something to say. But every once in a while, you just need to turn your fucking brain off and just have fun. But yeah, that is my second favorite pick, and I'm saving my favorite for last.
I didn't order mine for favorites, but you also perfectly segued into my next one. I purposefully went with 3. Like, Leslie Vernon is kind of silly, but it takes a lot of the storytelling of slashers and turns it on its head and has something to say with the meta aspects of that. So those 3, they did have something to say, but this one is one you turn your brain off for, and that is a classic from Juan Piquer Simon, Pieces. I don't know if have you seen Pieces before?
But you talked about it before.
Is wild. This movie is so great. This movie starts with a young child literally murdering his mom because she catches him putting a nudie woman puzzle together. And then he grows up and murders a whole bunch of people at a college.
Hell yeah.
And it's such a fun movie. This release is from Grindhouse Releasing. Back in the day, Arrow also put out one of their special.
That's what I was about to ask you. Is that the movie that has the big, dumb version?
Yep. And I can show you that version as well, but it's back behind me. This movie is fantastic. It's got some really good music. This release has 42nd Street Memories, an all-new feature-length documentary with interviews with Sam Sherman, Bill Lustig, Larry Cohen, Frank Henenlotter, and a lot of people that you recognize in regards to like old New York style cinema. But it feels very weird to be on this release, but it's a great reason to pick this up. The documentary is good. The movie is great. Everything about this is just such a fun time. You turn your brain off. You watch things that should not be happening in a movie that don't make any sense in the classic idea for the story that they're using. But overall, it's wonderful. And I love the tagline. It's exactly what you think it is.
What?
And then on the back, it says, you don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre.
I love cheesy shit like that. Well, my last pick, was that yours last pick?
Nope, I got one more.
So my last pick is directed by Sergio Corbucci. Django, Great Silence. It's actually, did you know that those 2 are part of a trilogy? So Django and Great Silence are part of what is called the Mud and Blood trilogy.
Interesting.
And the 3rd movie is, I think this is the last one made, is The Specialist. So this has a much better release from Eureka. I've been wanting to double dip, but I haven't justified it. But I think I might because there's special features on this. This one only has commentary by Alex Cox, which is fine. I think Alex Cox is great. No harm to Alex Cox, but fuck, dude, come on. Especially for a movie like this. This is literally one of the best spaghetti westerns of all time. And I think those three movies are, I think it's a perfect trilogy. Obviously, they're not connected story-wise, but, there's a lot of similar themes. Django, I think, is the highlight. Great Silence is phenomenal. Have you seen Great Silence?
I believe so, back in the day, like a long time ago.
Just a phenomenal movie. Like, all not like one location, but like I would say one location, as in it's like one greater area. You're in the snow. A spaghetti western in the snow that's not common. It's beautifully shot. A lot of that influenced Quentin Tarantino for The Hateful Eight. It's a beautiful film, but this movie is just a awesome adventure movie with one of the best spaghetti western character names ever. And I love, like Angel Eyes is a fucking cool name, right? But his name is Hud Dixon. Just a fucking rad name. So Hud right here. His brother is arrested for robbery, and he's hung in this town called Blackstone, I believe. Yeah, in Blackstone, and he goes to find out and get revenge, and find out why his brother was killed, and then it kind of unravels from there. And it's a great story, great score. I believe Ennio Morricone did this score. I believe he did. I could be wrong, and I probably am wrong. But an amazing score, great actors. I mean, not a lot of like regular spaghetti western actors like John Holliday, Gaston Mochan, Mario Adorf. A lot of guys that, I mean, Mario's is like a character actor in some of these movies, but there's no Franco Nero, there's no Klaus Kinski, and this is, I think, an incredible film that needs to be talked about just as much as Django, because it is just a blast. And this is still in print. You can get this. So I highly recommend The Specialist, but I think Orbit has the Eureka version with the slipcover. So, but yeah, it kind of sucks that Arrow has Django, because that means we would have all three from Eureka.
Right.
But we have a 4K, so.
That's true. And Eureka hasn't put one out yet.
Fuck Eureka. No, I'm just kidding. They're the best this year.
As literally, I have Eureka on display right here.
Dude, they are the best. Their artist, Alex Wheeling, I think is what his name is, or Derek Wheeling. His art for those Asian movies are so good. Like The Bride with the White Hair, One Armed Boxer, Duel to the Death, Time and Tide. I can't see Klaus Kinski in a good light after that doc on Nosferatu in Venice. Well, what happened?
If I remember right, he basically came to the set for that movie not even wanting to make a movie, and was just an asshole just the entire time.
Yeah, that's why he plays good bad guys. He's a piece of shit. If I was making movies, I would cast Harvey Weinstein as the bad guy. Did you know that they modeled one of the orcs in Lord of the Rings after Harvey Weinstein?
No, but
it, like, side by side comparison, it's exactly him.
So I have one pick left, and that was something I wanted to specialize for the fact that slashers are a genre that lead to franchises overwhelmingly. I mean, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was about to say, do you count Texas Chainsaw?
It has all of the tropes of a slasher without a couple of them. Like, there's no hidden killer. There's a few other things that I would question that makes it a slasher. However, the aspects of it that make it a slasher seem to line up pretty well. So at least the first one, I probably would.
Okay.
But because the genre breeds so many franchises, I wanted to bring a franchise, and one that I believe you've talked about, so I think you've probably seen this one, sadly, but not a lot of people have, and I wanted to give everybody the chance to catch up to one that is starting right now. So I wanted to highlight Terrifier.
I have not seen this.
You have not seen this. So Terrifier is a wild movie about this guy who is called Art the Clown. And there is no rhyme or reason to this film. He just kills a bunch of people in a town because, basically. It doesn't seem to be telling a deeper story. There is a second Terrifier that is coming. It was supposed to be out last year, but it got delayed due to the pandemic. But this first movie is great. Really crazy villain. Really somebody that you can just find yourself loving to hate. And it's acted in a way that is silly in a couple spots, but overall,
everyone's saying Terrifier is great.
Terrifier is amazing. And this is a steelbook that came out from Dread Pictures. And I'm holding out on showing the back here. This is an actual scene from the film where he hangs up a woman and cuts her in half.
Is it on Netflix? I feel like I've seen that on Netflix.
I think it was on Netflix. I'm not sure it is anymore.
Do you want to highlight this comment from Maximus about Kinski real quick?
Klaus Kinski sexually assaulted a co-star during filming a scene, got directors fired, filmed 10 hours of himself walking around.
Sounds like every other actor.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we were really gonna like choose what movies to watch from good people, there'd be no movies to watch. Everyone is a fucking sociopath. Kinski, I don't look at Kinski for inspiration. He's a piece of shit. He plays a piece of shit. He always besides in God Said Decane, he's a good guy in that movie. But even then, it's like he was good. You know, like I'm not gonna not watch Kevin Spacey movies. He's a fucking great actor. And Casey Affleck, Manchester by the Sea is one of the best emotional movies in recent years. That's just my hot take. Now, I'm not ever going to not watch a Miramax movie. I mean, Harvey Weinstein produced some great bangers, so. And Cosby Show slaps. Hey, if Cosby goes on tour, do you want to go see him?
God, no. Knowing how quickly I fall asleep nowadays, I mean, that's dangerous.
You made me lose my headphone, dude. He'd be like, "Oh, look at that boy in the front row."
Anyways, Terrifiers. Go ahead.
So how many Terrifiers are there?
There's just one, but Art the Clown, the character, was also in a movie that came out first that like everybody loved this character,
yeah,
so they made
character before, yeah.
They made this entire movie for it. He's in a movie, I think it was called Tales of Halloween, something like that. It was an anthology film. It might not be Tales of Halloween. Good? Or you know what? I think it was All Hallows Eve.
Is that good?
I've honestly never seen it.
Okay.
But I watched whatever the right one is that Art the Clown is in. I watched the other one thinking it was okay. So there you go. Somebody says All Hallows Eve, and then it disappeared. There it is. John says it was All Hallows Eve, okay. And I watched Tales of Halloween, and that one was good. But I thought that was the one I was going to see Art the Clown in. Terrifier is great. There's only one. The second one comes out in literally like 3 or 4 months. So watch Terrifier now. They've filmed a second one. It's the Terrifier is great. It is very gory. It's very tense in a few scenes. Don't watch it expecting like redeeming qualities or anything like that. It's literally just a bare bone slasher flick. Period.
Nice. I mean, that's what I like.
Yeah.
I just want to see bitches get killed.
And bitches get killed.
And dudes too. When I say bitches, that's a gender neutral term for me. Like, I just want to clarify that.
And I will say, I agree with this. I do think Hatchet is a much better film. I was only showing these 5 as recommendations that are generally not as recommendations for slashers. The only one that I will say highly recommended is Black Christmas.
Well, I'm going to watch Terrifier sounds good. I've seen that clown. I like that design quite a bit. So I think Black Christmas and Terrifier are going to be the two that I'm going to watch. You got to watch this one. Got to watch it. So good. What do you want to do next week before we wrap it up?
We will talk because I'm not sure if I'm going to be available next week as I will be in Arizona.
Fine.
Although I am streaming on Thursday from Arizona for my channel, so I'm going to do what I can.
Sleep. I will just sleep. I'll just watch Lone Wolf and Cub again.
Oh, there you go. Justy says Black Christmas is free on Peacock.
Love Peacock.
I mean, it's free.
Love Peacock. I got it for The Office. Love Peacock.
Nice.
No, just kidding. I don't have fucking Peacock. I do want to get Paramount Plus though for fucking the Taylor Sheridan universe. I love it. We should do this topic again, but pick different genres.
I'd be down for that.
Because I do.
Have you watched any of the Yokai Monsters yet?
Yeah, I have the first 3 on DVD, and I have seen the Great Yokai War, directed by Miike. The Yokai War is a children's movie. It's a fun movie. I think you can watch it with your kids. The other 3 are the animation's weird because it's tokusatsu, but it's stop motion. It's like part stop motion, part not stop motion. They're good, but I still haven't picked up that set yet because I'm on the fence. It's like,
especially when you've already seen them,
and I own them on DVD. It's not like like something like Daimajin, which I had, but this had so many special features and nice box. I've seen the box for Yokai, and it's nothing to be super pumped about. So yeah, I would say it's just a weird thing that they're releasing. Like they're really digging deep into the well with Dai, and there's so many other things that they could be releasing. Is it true that Snake Girl or whatever got pushed back?
Some people already have it. Like Eric already has his.
Huh.
It got delayed by like a week or 2. But at this point, so many people just need to understand every single release is basically getting delayed by a week.
Yeah, what about Arrow charging me, not giving me my fucking order? I'm gonna sue him.
So anyways, somebody's asking, or Justy said, I think Terrifier's on Netflix. It is not on Netflix. It is on Roku, Vudu, and Tubi, all for free.
Oh, it's on Tubi?
It's on Tubi. I also had Flex ask multiple times, what do you think of Squid Game? Have you seen any of it?
I saw a few episodes. I think it's cool. It's just weird to me that that's what is going to be Netflix's biggest show. Because I think it's good, but I don't think it's that good. Like even my dad asked me about it. My dad doesn't like foreign movies. He's like, "Hey, Squid Games, is it good?" I'm like, I'm like, why do you know? Like the stars are on fucking Jimmy Kimmel and shit.
Right.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's bizarre. And then my dad's like, Korea's just really taken over. The music, the movies, and now this. Get off my lawn.
He sounds like a big BTS stan.
My friend Risa worked at the restaurant, and she is a fucking die-hard BTS fan. And when we would let her have aux cord duties, my dad would just be like, I think BTS rocks. Underrated horror franchise?
Why don't you give an answer to this one first?
Franchise. So how many movies have to be in a series for it to be a franchise?
For me, I would probably say at least 3.
3? Okay. Because I always say 2, because the Raid has 2 movies. That's the Raid. You know what I mean?
Right, but to me, that could just be a fluke.
3.
Unless you have a really good answer for 2 that you just have to share.
I don't have a good answer for. I don't even have a good answer for 3, honestly. I think the first 3 Saw movies are really good. And
I don't think Saw is underrated.
I think a lot of people overlook them, overlook the franchise because they have become so bad that
desensitized.
Another Saw movie.
See, and I'm somebody. Every Saw, there's not one that I thought was a bad movie. Not a single one.
I'm trying to think of another franchise that I've seen. I mean, I can tell you an overrated franchise.
Underrated.
overrated is The Conjuring. I think that shit is so stupid. Like not scary at all. Like that's like my least favorite thing ever. Blair Witch Project. I took my mom to see the last one, and she was like, "This is cool." Like Hostel.
For me, go ahead. Hostel, is that what you said?
Yeah, Hostel.
Hostel's decent. I like Eli Roth.
I don't. I think he's a prick, but he's decent.
I think he's a prick, but I think he's a talented prick, and he's done a lot of good things.
Talented prick. Yeah, I would say Hostel, man. I think Hostel is another series where like the first one was just so shocking, but is it the third one where the girl's in the bathtub and the blood's all over?
Yeah.
Phantasm.
Have you seen any of the Phantasm films?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phantasm is super underrated.
I'm trying to think of what else.
I'm going to throw out there my answer for this. It's kind of lame because we've already talked about it, but it's the entire Hatchet series. I don't think enough people
almost said that, but I don't
think enough people have seen the third one or Victor Crowley.
Yeah, I think that's probably my answer. I can't think of anything else. The Firefly trilogy by Rob Zombie. I love
most underrated.
I love the third one, man. I really do. That's like I think the second one is legitimately a great movie.
I think both of the first two are masterpieces.
Devil's Rejects, man, is just so good. And I do like 3 from Hell. 3 from Hell grew on me quite a bit.
It's fun. I just wish it had been its own standalone movie and not part of the franchise.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like it would have been a completely different movie if if what's his name didn't die.
Yep.
So, there's so many horror movies that I'm sure that there is a franchise that we're just not thinking of that's super low budget that we're just the VHS series is, I think all of them are pretty good.
I didn't love Viral. I really need to see 94. It is getting great reviews.
Yeah, and it's got one produced by the guy from Headshot and Night Comes For Us, Timo.
Nice.
Tim Jarhada, whatever his name is. What's an overrated horror franchise, Ryan?
Overrated. I will say overrated. Jeepers Creepers. I think the first one is a decent film. I think the director's a scumbag, but I think that they are not that great. I would say maybe a hot take, but probably Hellraiser. I think the first two are legitimately great films. I think they underutilized the mythology of the Cenobites, and there's so much better that they can do with it.
Did you hear that Hollywood's making Pinhead a girl? And I'm fucking angry. If only I knew how to read, I would know he was originally a girl in the books. Too bad I can't read. I hate people.
Yeah,
dude. There's been some like losers lately in fucking the movie fandom.
Yeah,
like
it's been rough.
It's like, dude, yeah, okay, it's a girl, so fucking what? They're all supposed to be. He fucked a child.
Literally, and got convicted of it. And then Disney hired him.
For what?
Powder.
He directed Powder?
He directed Powder.
Disney knew about this?
Yeah. Disney
sucks. The whole world sucks. I don't like shit anymore. I just like Fred Durst. That's it. That's fucking it. That's all I like. At least Fred Durst hasn't done anything bad besides that John Travolta movie. Have you seen that?
No, I did not watch The Fanatic.
You should watch it. It's hilarious. I think in 20 years we're gonna talk about the Fanatic like The Room. Poppycock. He just walks around and goes poppycock all the time. Oh, come on. Disney knows everything.
So for the people that don't know, Victor Salva is the guy that directed Jeepers Creepers. He did a movie in the 80s called Clown House and literally had sex with a minor and got convicted of it. Came back, did his time, and then got hired to do Powder for Disney. And it came back out like Disney put out this film that with this known child sex offender. And then he went and got Jeepers Creepers and somehow made a trilogy out of it.
And he's done stuff since 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3 came out in 2017. He still directed it? In 2017?
Yeah.
Now, I want to know, are these movies good? Or are they, because like the reviews are bad?
Jeepers Creepers 1 is genuinely a good movie. Jeepers Creepers 2 has some okay spots. I have not seen Jeepers Creepers 3 because of everything.
He did a movie in 2014 with Tobin Bell called Dark House.
There you go. Brian brought it up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Haven't seen that one.
I mean, he's been directing movies since the 90s.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, fuck him.
And yes, Dave asked, wasn't Pinhead asexual in the Barker story? Yes.
But he was also shown as a woman, I think. Like his appearance was more female.
It was less asexual and more like genderless, is what I would say. He had female anatomy at certain points, but yes, Hellraiser is just extremely sexual.
Besides the voice, Hellraiser is, I mean, Pinhead's kind of sexualist anyways. Like if you put a female voice in that, it would fit. Like it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I love people getting outraged over shit that literally does not affect them in any way whatsoever. It's so funny to me. Like anytime they do anything, just if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Like that's what you gotta do. But I tell you, if they fucking make a female James Bond, I'm done. I'm not trying to watch Jeanette Bond. I'm trying to watch James Bond.
It'll be Jamie.
Oh, that's even better. Why didn't I think of that? I really hope the next James Bond is just like black trans and a woman or something. Just like just fucking all of it in one, so people can just be like, just and fucking make them Russian. Fuck it, like not even British.
John says something. He says, "Don't watch No Time to Die."
No, I think it's great. So she can fuck yeah.
I think it would be hilarious to have a woman who has not had any operations just to see conservative minds explode when you say, well, is it a woman that's Bond or is gender made up by what's between their legs? What is it? You're upset that it's a woman, but...
What are we supposed to do with movies other than complain about them? Watch them? Madness. Keep the controversial topics going by discussing the firefighting petition. Wait, what? Excuse me?
Did you see the trailer for the new Halloween that comes out on Friday?
I saw like the original trailer.
So there, I don't remember if it was in the original one or the second trailer, but there's a scene where he takes the axe to the head of a firefighter and it kills the guy. And people are petitioning to cancel Halloween because he kills a firefighter. Oh no!
Shut up! God damn it, dude! We need another 9/11. I'm just kidding.
I witnessed the cancellation of Filippo.
What are they gonna do? Not eat my pizza? Half these people watching don't even know where I live. I don't even care. But for real though, people are upset about that.
Yeah, it's really sad. Like there's genuinely petitions going around to stop the release of this film because a firefighter dies.
You know what people should be more upset about is that firefighters get paid absolute jack fucking shit. That's what you should be mad about. You should be rallying against, raising the pay of firefighters. Yeah, it's a fucking joke, Brian. Come on. We need something come on. Come on. For like once in our country, if you weren't Muslim, we were unified. It was a great time to be white.
It's always been great to be white.
Dude, the best thing about I filled out a college application one time and then they had Mediterranean on there. And I was like, fucking yes, brother. The good thing about being like when I'm darker, like when I'm tan, it's very questionable what race I am. And I always joked the best thing about being racially ambiguous is that if a race war breaks out, I can just decide later to join the winning side. I can just sit back and be like, okay, all right, now we're getting in. Sure, don't get paid to fight no Michael Myers. Dude, for real though, like that's a thing that people should be upset about. Not that a fucking fake firefighter in a fake movie gets a fake axe to the fake face. Just
it's very true.
It's like fucking wasn't it the fucking Clintons that were trying to ban video games because they were violent and all that shit? Fuck off. Fuck everybody. Really, they would have no problem with filming a company of firefighters having a building cave in on them. How they make it back out even more bad. You know what? They should kill Mike Myers should kill a cop, a teacher, and a firefighter in the new movie.
I mean, the first movie he kills a dog. It doesn't get much worse than that.
You should have released it to the Chinese market then. Hey, speaking of controversial, what'd you think of Dave Chappelle's new special?
I have boycotted it. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen it. I've heard all the hot takes.
I think it's good. I think
there are a couple lines I've heard that are very questionable.
Like what?
The biggest thing that he says, I don't know if it's out of context because people love to do that. Yes, the only thing I heard is one sentence where he said, if they were a trans. And that kind of hit me to the core as something that in 2021, you should just know not to say somebody is a trans.
I think he says something way worse. I think he calls them like trannies in the fucking special.
Probably. And a lot of it seems justified, so I'm not saying that. But
and it's so weird because I have a lot of friends that are trans on Facebook. It's literally split. Half of them think it's the fucking funniest shit ever, and that it has a good heartfelt message, and then the other half are like so insanely upset about it. So yeah, but we don't like doctors and nurses in 2021, though, Dave. Yeah.
They wear masks.
We don't like science. But so good. Kill all the doctors. You know what? Mike Myers needs to kill Fauci while we're fucking at it. But I thought it was good. I do think the message overall is good. But for me, what I didn't like about it is that he's retreading the same ground for I think the third time now. And he just sounds like an old man bitching about stuff he doesn't fully understand. And I used to go to Dave for the uncomfortable, and he does get there. Like the end story is very heartfelt. It comes from the heart, and it did make me, get a little emotional. But overall, it's just like, okay, yeah, we get it. He's just like, my favorite thing is though, he said, he said something like, how the 80s gays always look so shocked and surprised all the time. And then he's just like, and I was like, yeah, all the gay guys I know that were from the 80s all coming in the restaurant. They're like, how you guys doing? Like, how are you? Flo gonna get canceled like Gruden? No, except fuck Gruden too, dude. Fucking what a moron. What an absolute moron, dude. First off, hot takes from Gruden. I gotta say, I don't agree with him, but he just got away $100 million contract.
Right.
What a fucking
just a heads up, Justy's asked, wait, are there more people in the chat that I'm not seeing? My YouTube is dumb like that. We are actually streaming to 2 different channels.
Yeah.
So we got chats coming from 2 different places. Technically, we're streaming to my Twitch as well. So we've got chats coming in from 2 different places, sometimes 3.
What are some other controversial things I can say? I already did the Clint Eastwood joke, which I thought was a good joke.
It's not bad, but you've said it for like the last 9 streams.
No, I'm talking about the him doing George Zimmerman.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot that wasn't public last time.
I texted it to you to test the waters, and you just wrote Jesus Christ, so I knew it was funny.
It was good.
Yeah, I mean Gruden, man, what $100 million pissed away, and you know what, karma, because he was one of the major coaches behind firing Kaepernick.
Well, and one of the things I will point out there is, sorry to cut you off there, but this isn't cancel culture. He's not being canceled. This is consequences for his stupidity. There is a difference between cancel culture and consequences. If you're going to be a jackass, especially for something that has the ability to go public, you deserve consequences.
And private business can do whatever they want. You know?
Exactly.
If you want your Christian bakeries to not sell wedding cakes to gay people, then every other business has a right to fire people for being racist. Like it's fucking simple. Do you think Pence ever just like dreams? He's like, I just want to be back in Indiana stopping gays from getting cakes. This is a nightmare. This is a fucking nightmare. Me and mother.
Have you seen either of the Rabid films?
I've seen the original. The Cronenberg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard the new one's good.
I've not seen the new one. I don't love the Soska sisters. I think they've done a couple decent things. I've chosen not to watch the Rabid remake yet. I'm not against it or anything like that. I think Rabid is one of those key films that was perfectly timed for a good remake. I think when it came out, Cronenberg was very young, didn't have a lot of the resources that he did later for things like Videodrome and The Fly. If he would have made that in 1989, Rabid probably would have been a much better movie. The original, it's good. It's not top tier Cronenberg, but it's good. Yeah, I think it was ripe for a remake, though.
So how about R. Kelly?
I believe he can fry.
I believe I can fry. God. I besides that song, I never understood the hype around R. Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't get the trapped in the closet stuff. Like, do people like unironically like that?
I mean, it's never been my scene, so maybe.
You 6'7" white guy? You're not a big R&B R. Kelly fan?
I mean, I do love me some R&B, but not R. Kelly. No, that's A&W, not R&B.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We had to...
Come on, that was a quick joke.
That was good. I just like saying controversial things that I don't mean because it's fun. It feels like I'm breaking a law. But like, who's gonna fire me? Is myself?
So, Justy's brought back up. Did you see the new Scream trailer at all today?
No, I haven't.
So some people are literally, I kind of touched on this when we were talking about the top 5, but some people are saying this looks terrible because it looks like the first Scream movie. How asinine of a take is that? It looks like a classic film, so this must be bad.
I hate when people talk.
It genuinely looks fantastic. And the 3 people that we know for sure are coming back, we don't know if there are more characters from the Scream universe coming back or not. But you've got David Arquette and Courtney Cox, and of course,
they're doing a movie together.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awkward. She looks like. I mean, have you seen her? She had plastic surgery. She looks bad.
Yeah, she does not look great. And what's sad is she looks better now than she did like 8 years ago.
I thought she looked. I mean,
no, she had a couple of rounds of plastic done, and then had some done to fix some of that.
Okay, good. Because, dude, I don't understand plastic surgery. Just like Mickey Rourke, man. That's the one that really fucked me up.
Yeah,
he was a good looking dude, and now he looks like my aunt. Shout out to my Aunt Josie. You're much better looking than Mickey Rourke, though. Dude, that's a perfect example. I mean, the Matrix trailer came out and people were like, this doesn't look like the Matrix at all.
Yep.
It's like, did you guys watch the fucking final Matrix when all the green shade went into the cat? Like the Matrix was getting rebooted. Did you guys not watch that piece of shit movie that I love?
The only thing I think we talked about this before, but the Matrix trilogy really kind of grasping at straws when the first person you see in a Matrix trailer is Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, I mean, that was shocking. I was like, what is fucking Dookie Howser doing in this fucking movie? I love the Matrix franchise. I hope it's good. I hope the leaked story is not what really happens.
Right.
Which, fucking spoilers for a movie that's not even out yet. He's a video game tester or something, and he's playing the first trilogy as a video game. Makes no sense. I hate shit. I hate really meta stuff like that. That like bothers me. That offends me. If
you seem triggered.
Nothing else offends me. You can Jackie Chan saying the N-word, amazing. Kevin
Amazing.
Spacey, great actor. Whatever. You know, Jeepers Creepers, good for him. But when you fucking do that, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I hate meta shit. Especially when, you know, like when they try to shoehorn newish technology into a movie. Like, I really don't like that. Especially like when you go back and look at movies and you're like, oh, like GPS was like that back then. Like I think a perfect example of a movie that does it good is, it's not a good movie, but that zombie movie from Netflix that's in South Korea where he's stuck in the apartment building. Hashtag Alive or something.
Yeah.
They use that both good and bad, where like he's on Twitter and, you know, they're using the hashtag to like, you know, have every post in a focused, you know, area. And it was both good and bad uses of that. And I think in 20 years, we're going to look back at that movie, if there's even a fan base for that movie, and go, oh, that was kind of dumb. You know? Especially, I mean, the first Matrix, if you aren't into that aesthetic at all and you go into that movie, you're going to be like, what the fuck is a floppy disk?
Right.
You remember floppy disks?
Oh, yeah.
They were rad, dude.
They were rad. They were awful.
They were so cool, dude. I used to put my homework on them.
I'm honestly shocked that you ever had to use floppy disk with your age.
I'm 29. I'm almost 30. I'm not 20.
30 years ago, when you were born is one thing, but when you were actually going to school, like
in high school, we used floppy disks all the time. That
seems baffling to me.
Why?
I didn't use floppy disks past like 1998. And I wasn't. And you, God, what year did you graduate high school? Like 2009 or 10?
2010.
Jesus Christ.
Guess what year Taylor graduated high school?
2013.
2015.
Oh, God. Oh.
What? Wait,
I love that you. Well, hold on. I think you made Lex look up what Mickey Rourke looked like now.
You've never seen him? Oh, man, it's bad.
Justy says hashtag Alive is amazing. Ice says it is like Flip's. It's Flip. He likes Sicario 2.
Yo, that's a great movie. Sicario 2. I'll fucking fight you, Ice. You like Polar. I love you.
So what year did I graduate? So first of all, I am only 5 years older than you, but I also skipped a grade. So I graduated in 2004.
You're old, dude. What the fuck?
And I graduated in 2003, and my parents told me no.
Wait, are you a genius?
It's a weird question for somebody to answer. I mean, I did skip fourth grade, and I to graduate in my hometown, we had to have 220 credits, and I graduated with 330.
Why?
So I did a lot of extracurriculars, and not to make it sad, but I took summer school to get away from my parents because they were abusive.
I took summer school because I had to. because I was not gonna pass high school.
I chose to.
Dude, I have dreams that I just wasn't gonna pass high school. My problem is, so listen to this. Did you guys have that SATs?
Yeah.
So I scored a 28 out of 35, which is high. And I like
I took SATs before they changed the scoring. Ours was at a 1600.
Oh shit. Well, maybe I'm talking about ACTs. Anyways,
that's different. Yeah.
So some big test that I didn't study for, I scored a 28, and I got the third highest score in the school. And they called me to the principal's office because they were like, "You cheated. There's no way that you got this score," because I was failing every class. I was doing my homework. I just never turned it in. It was in my locker, all completed. I would pass test. So finally, they were just like, take online school. And I graduated 6 months early. I made up 4 years of high school in 6 months, straight A's. Did calculus, and then went into college. Had a 3.8, and then dropped out and started making pizzas. So
my last year of high school, I ran out of classes to take, so they forced me to take automotive. Like, I hate cars, and for that one semester, I did an entire year's work of automotive, the actual required work, in 3 weeks. And then after that, I went down to the band room every single day. I got approved to go ditch the class. And just
did you play band?
Yeah, I was a section leader and everything. Yeah.
What'd you play?
In high school, I played bari sax. I taught myself how to play bari sax. Before that, I played bass clarinet. I played clarinet. Yeah.
I played the trombone, or as I call it, the tromboner.
Everybody does, yeah.
Did you? I think I told the story. Our band teacher was a prick. One of them, because we had two. One of them was cool. One was a prick. So we used to take like those like bead necklaces, and we would chop up the beads in the whole trombone section. We would just randomly put one in our thing, and our player just poof, shoot it out, and it would hit him in the head, and he'd be like, "Stop, stop, stop, trombone section!" And we'd be like, "There's like 3 of us." We'd be like, "What do you want?" We were shitheads. It's fun being a shithead.
That's band. Band everywhere is like that.
Was your school, dude, the drama kids? Because I was in a couple plays. I played a gay police officer in one play. I played a police officer during 9/11. I played the Elephant Man in a play, because I was like 400 pounds. I was so fat. But yeah, they did the makeup and everything, and I watched David Lynch's Elephant Man like over and over again to like match the talking, the body movement, everything. But theater kids were the horniest motherfuckers ever. And all of them were ugly. Like, what are you? They're all fucking each other like crazy.
Our band was that way, for sure.
They would invite me over for lipstick parties, and I'm like, no, dude. I'm good. I'll blow myself. Does Ryan get paid to babysit Flip? That's not nice, Ryan.
Oh, man, that's funny.
No, my wife does.
Have you seen this? What do you guys think of the upcoming Day of the Dead TV series? Have you heard about that?
No, what?
They're making it. I believe it's on Sci-Fi. They're making a Day of the Dead TV series. Well, Sci-Fi's got some good things going for it. I won't say no yet. I will say I'm worried cautiously. This is not a common response, but I think Day of the Dead is my favorite of the Romero Dead trilogy.
Is that the one where they teach the zombie how to like communicate?
Yes.
Okay. That's a hot take.
That's
a hot take.
And my reasoning for that is I'm a big fan of really well done dialogue. And in those first 3 films, that movie is very dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
And I also love practical effects, and it's got some of the best there.
I still think Dawn is the best. I think Night is a little unwatchable now. That's a hot take.
I don't think it's unwatchable at all.
I don't like black and white movies. What am I, a loser? Just kidding. Half the movies I own are black and white. Don't take me seriously. Okay? Nothing I say is serious.
I will say my answer is probably the same for this. Is how are you feeling about the new Chucky
Wait,
show?
there's a Chucky show?
But now the thing for the Chucky show, it's all the same. Like Don Mancini is still heavily involved. He's show running and everything.
Why all these random horror shows?
Because it's sad to say this, but probably because other stuff has been popular, and they're finally seeing that there's money to be made in horror.
I have a question about a TV show I've been wanting to watch. I feel like you might know. Have you seen Bosch?
I have not watched Bosch. I do like the actor.
I really want to start watching it, but I don't know. Like, none of my friends have watched it. I would much rather trust somebody else's opinion than reading a Reddit thread or something.
Right.
But like, didn't hear about it until last week.
But remember, if you're going to watch a show just because I recommend it, you absolutely have to watch The Shield.
I do gotta watch The Shield. My dad was like, I was like, Dad, have you seen The Shield? He was like, I fucking love The Shield.
It is sincerely, maybe still my favorite TV show of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to watch Gamora, man.
I saw that Kino's putting out the second season now, so.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, so I have the Arrow release. It's got all the first 3 seasons. I still need to. I really hope Kino does the movie because there's a movie tying seasons 4 in the last one. 2 episodes of season 5 leaked like a month ago, like a full 3 months before air date.
I didn't even know it was still going.
It's the final season. Season 5 is the final one. It's literally the best show I've ever seen. I've never been so hooked on a show. And that team also did 000, and now they're doing a Django television show. Yeah,
as in spaghetti Western Django?
Yes,
What?
They are doing a Django series. So I'm excited to see what they do next. Like, I'm so excited to see what they do with Django, because if it's as gritty and dark as 000 and Gamora, I'm ecstatic for Django. They're great. So what's his name? The guy who directed Sicario 2 is the director of most of the episodes for both Gamora and 000. And I think he's a much far better television director than he is a movie director.
Interesting.
But yeah, Gamora is so good. The best, I would say, the most natural and best character development in a show. And just awesome. Better than The Sopranos. Better than The Sopranos.
And that phrase would hot take a lot of people. I'm not like that. I honestly still think The Wire is the top of that era.
The Wire is fucking fantastic. So is Bosch gritty? Is it grounded?
From what I've heard, it's pretty gritty. But it also, well, at least their marketing seems to be. What's a way to say this without insulting certain people? It seems to be heavily boomer focused.
Hell yeah, dude. Boomer energy. I'm a boomer.
Yes, the Friday the 13th lawsuit's been settled, but we also still don't know what that means going forward a whole lot yet. Yeah, that I think is probably going to do it for tonight, though.
I think that's it. What do you want to do next week? Or not next week. We'll do the week after. Do you want to do another 5-5?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me 5 killer animal movies.
Okay.
That's a very specific.
I can do that.
Because I watched Anaconda recently, and I was like, man, this movie fucking still slaps. This is a decent movie. So yeah, give me 5 killer animal movies.
What did you call them? Wuxia? Is that what you called them?
Wuxia, yeah.
Yeah, give me 5 of those.
All right, I'll give you 5 Chinese superhero movies. So, I do want. Can I talk really briefly? I forgot about.
Of course.
This. I got a screener for Raging Fire, the new Donnie Yen movie that's coming out on Hiya at the end of the month. I wrote this down to talk about this. What's going on, Tay? I'll be out in a second. So I want to say this movie is great. It is it feels like a swan song to Hong Kong cinema. It is a co-production with the mainland, so the rule that is now being enforced all over is in play, where Donnie Yen's character has to be like comically good, and Nicholas Che, I think is how you pronounce his name. His character has to be like comically bad. But if you can get over that, it is a great action movie. Gun scenes rival Heat at moments, like for real. Like not just saying that as like hyperbole. Like there's some great fight scenes. No, great gun scenes. Not a lot of martial arts until towards the end. But man, it's sad that Benny Chan died. But what a film to fucking just die on. Like, because it's great. Like, it feels like, Hong Kong cinema hasn't been the same for a while, for years. This feels like a swan song. It's like a love letter to everything, from John Woo to Choi Hark. It feels like it's just an amalgamation of everything that came before it, and it's fucking great. Again, it's not the best thing I've seen, but given the history of the film, the circumstances surrounding the film, is amazing. So definitely, it's streaming in a couple weeks on Haya or Haya, however I don't know. But yeah, it's coming out in Blu-ray in December from Welgo, and I will be picking it up. I will be picking up. It's, I think, the best movie that Welgo will be releasing this year, like hands down. I think the closest thing to it is probably Delivers from Evil and maybe The Swordsman, but this is the best movie that they've put out this year. That's all I want to say.
All right. Thanks for that soapbox. Thanks for hanging out for what I called tonight, episode 2 of Discovering Cinema. Like I said, I think we will probably stream, even if it's very short, next week, just to catch up.
Even 30, 45 minutes.
Yep. And then the week after that, we'll be back with a full regular episode on the following Tuesday. Go subscribe to Flip's channel, subscribe to my channel. I am posting a video at the end of this week, little inside for anybody that's been on here for the last hour and 47 minutes, doing a giveaway for anybody that's a subscriber on my channel. So
what are you
by all means, I'm giving away a very out of print The Thing Steelbook in 4K. It sold out on pre-order, and I have a sealed copy. Here's the actual copy that will be given away.
Oh shit!
And it's going for a lot of money, surprisingly.
I'm going to participate in this giveaway now.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to?
Of course.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out. By all means, please go subscribe to both channels, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out, and
love you.
Go watch another movie.